Welcome to week number 5 of the Durga Insurance Catch-Up. It was an eventful week in the West Michigan and Muskegon areas last week. Stay tuned for updates on all the action throughout this video. Thank you to our sponsor, Durga Insurance Group. Are you looking for life, home, or auto insurance? Well, then Durga Insurance Group is the place to go. Check them out at durgainsuranceGroup.com. Let's get into the action. First, we have our weekly football picks. Let's see if we are on the mark this week on the catch-up. This week, the following games will be covered. Mona Shores versus Muskegon, Reese Puffer versus Forest Hills Northern, OV versus Muskegon Catholic Central, Hesperia versus Shelby, Montague versus Ludington, Whitehall versus Manistee, North Muskegon versus Hart, and Granville versus Grand Haven. After week 4, the league continues to be harbored by none other than Miles, who is 25-8 on the season. Next up on the catch-up, we have our top 5 must-watch football games. Number 5, Whitehall versus Manistee. Whitehall, who is currently number 1 in the league, continues to dominate. They took a big win over rival Montague last week and will be using the same home field advantage against the Mariners. Number 4, Hesperia versus Shelby. Both solid squads that have struggled early this season. Shelby will look to try to get their first win of the season, while Hesperia, who is currently 4th in the league and 1-1 overall, will be looking to continue their successful campaign through this week. Number 3, Montague versus Ludington. Another powerhouse battle. Montague will be coming off a tough rival loss to Whitehall. Ludington, on the other hand, is coming off a big upset over Oak Ridge and has the momentum going into this one. Number 2, Granville versus Grand Haven. At the second spot on our list, this one is sure to be a battle. Grand Haven has beat some solid teams so far this season, including a big win over West Ottawa 2 weeks ago. Granville, on the other hand, has lost to some of the best football schools in the area, Rockford being one of them. And number 1, Mona Shores versus Muskegon. At the number 1 spot, we have none other than Mona Shores versus Muskegon. Easily one of the biggest rivalry games all season. The undefeated Sailors will take on the Big Reds away at Hackley Field. This one is going to be a bruiser. Look for coverage from the SportsNet team all the way through this one. Last up on this edition of the Catch-Up, we have our top area moments. Number 5, Ludington football. In West Michigan Lakes Conference action, the Oriole football team took on Oak Ridge last week, upsetting the Eagles. This win moves them to second place in the league overall behind Whitehall. Number 4, Whitehall football. With a big win over rival Montague, Whitehall retains the belt for the 4th straight season. Number 3, North Muskegon volleyball, Eddie Fakowski. The North Muskegon native lit it up last week. In the Fremont quad, Fakowski led the Norsemen to 2-1 record, only losing to Lakes Division member Fremont. Throughout the day, she recorded 9 aces, 18 kills, and 16 digs. Number 2, Mona Shores football, Jonathan Pittman. The senior was effective on the field Friday. Pittman was 7 for 9 on passing attempts, completing 77.7% of those. Rushing for the Sailors, he garnered 108 yards on 19 carries with a rate of 5.8 yards per carry. The senior led Mona Shores to a close win over Byron Center, 14-12. Number 1, Muskegon football, James Young. Young went on a tear for the Big Reds last week, leading them to a 47-28 win over Forest Hills Northern. He was 8 for 11 passing with a 72.7% completion rate, while also notching himself a trio of touchdowns. He was effective on the ground as well, where he rushed for 86 yards on 10 carries, averaging a 8.6 yards per carry rate. Thanks for watching this edition of the Durga Insurance Catch-Up. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.